guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about should you get a medical coding certification or should you pursue a degree in health information management or health information technology. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Okay guys, the question that you need to ask yourself when you're on this journey, you're interested in pursuing the health information field, you're thinking about becoming a medical coder. If becoming a medical coder is your only goal right now, then by all means you can pursue getting a medical coding certification. And there's two major medical coding associations. There's the American Health Information Management Association or the American Academy of Professional Coders. Both of these are the medical coding powerhouses. These are who the employers trust. So out there in the real world, they are asking for people to be certified through AHIMA or AAPC. All right, so that out of the way. If you're thinking that you may need to have a degree and you just want to code, this is wrong, okay? If you are wanting to get the degree or if you get the degrees are for our leaders. So the Registered Health Information Technician, which is the associate's degree, or the Registered Health Information Administrator, which is the bachelor's degree. Once you've completed your program, you can sit for the designation that is appropriate to that. So if you're in the associate's program, the RHIT. If you are in the bachelor's, the RHIA. Now, if you are wanting to be a leader, if you are wanting to do that type of work where you're leading the people and you're running whole departments, then by all means, go ahead and go for the degree programs. But I will tell you guys this, if you're looking to get the degree because you think that you're going to make more money as a medical coder with a degree versus somebody who has a certification, you're wrong. Because when you look at the job listings and they ask for RHIA, RHIT, or one of the medical coding certifications, everybody is going to start off the same. Because you have a degree, it's not going to make you more money, all right? Especially if you are working under where you should, because people who have degrees and are working as coders and not as some sort of leader, like a lead coder or, an auditor or something like that, if you're working just as a medical coder, again, you're working under the potential of the degrees. Now, the degree programs, both of them, they do not have emphasis on the coding part. The coding part is actually almost an afterthought in either one of these programs. In the RHIT program or the RHIA program, a lot of them are just, it's just a simple class. It's not really in depth like you would if you were getting a certification. So if you say, well, I got a certification and I have my degree, then that's something that's different. I mean, sometimes when people get degrees and they go out into the real world, the employers are going to want them to have a certification anyway, because this says that they have mastered that part of coding. So that's something to keep in mind. Getting a degree and the time that you're going to have to spend, plus the money that you're going to have to spend pursuing the degree, and of course, like I said, the time, that's a huge investment. So again, don't get roped into thinking that you need to pursue a degree in order to make very good money in this field. I have made more than degree holders having just my certification. So in a coding role, okay? So that's something that you have to keep in mind. I did get this good comment and I'm gonna read this because I think, again, it can hit home with a lot of you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the comment reads, "Thanks for the video. I'm starting my prereq for my Associate of Applied Science in HIM, hoping to be an RHIT, Registered Health Information Technician, in 2 years. I want to know if I need," should put this in big letters, "need to go and get my bachelor's and be an RHIA. I don't like to be in school for that long. I'm also a medical assistant and wondering if it would make it better or harder for this career change." And she says, "I know the clinical side of being a MA doesn't really help much." Here she is wrong, because being a medical assistant, you're already a couple steps ahead, okay? This means that you understand anatomy and medical terminology. And this is really huge, depending on wherever you want to be in their career, whether you're going to pursue a degree or whether you're going to pursue a medical coding certification. So it's big that you know this, and it's also big that you know all the other things behind the scenes as well. People who start off in medical coding, who come from a background of medical, are a few steps ahead because they understand the language already. It's just understanding how to code that is the big thing. So to me, if I'm this person, and just based on what she has said here, it doesn't really sound like she's wanting to pursue the degree anyway, because she wants to be in and out of school as fast as possible. I suggested that if she's wanting to be a leader, then by all means go ahead and pursue the degrees. But if she's just wanting to be a coder, then she just needs to pursue the medical coding certifications. Either one from either association is totally fine. But don't get yourself into something that you're going to pursue these degrees, then you're going to have this degree designation, and then you're not going to know what to do with it. It's very difficult when I see people who pursue the but the health information degrees, not really knowing what they're getting themselves into. And then I've seen people graduate and pass their RHIT or RHIA, and they are completely miserable because they said, Bleu, if I would have known that this field was like this, I never would have pursued this degree. Meanwhile, you've spent $30,000, $40,000 in time pursuing this degree, not really knowing what it is. And you know, these career counselors at the college, their job is to sell programs. Their job is not to convince you not to pursue a higher education degree. Their job is to say, oh no, everything is going to be great. If you get this, you can work at home, you can do this. And look, here's what the Bureau of Statistics says about the outlook of, you know, this field and how much money they make and that kind of thing. But if you're not exercising that degree to its fullest potential, you're going to miss out on a lot. You know, our field needs to have really good leaders who hold these degrees and people who are genuinely interested in the field. Sometimes you won't know until you get into the field if you're genuinely interested in it, and I get that. But at the same time, when you're getting these degrees, know what you're getting into. Stop and look around and try to find somebody who is an RHIT if you're pursuing that degree, or if you're wanting to pursue an RHIA, find somebody who has an RHIA and who is working in that leadership position, and pick their brain and ask them, you know, how is it, you know, what do they find that they like about being an RHIA? What do they find that they don't like about being an RHIA? So this way you can get a full picture of what's really going on. Don't just blindly decide to go ahead and get a degree because you're looking at the money. Again, the money is going to be there whether you have a degree or whether you have a certification if you are a medical coder. All right. And for employers, they're really looking for experience. Now, yes, how do you get experience if no one wants to hire brand new medical coders? I always tell you guys to apply anyway, regardless of whether they're asking for experience or not. And I tell you guys to apply anyway because that is what I did. And I also went to the temp agency. Now, the temp agency, a lot of people will mistake this for like manpower, like where you go there and it's like day labor and things like that. And you've seen them in major cities, you see them all the time. But for temp agencies that specialize in the medical field, they have different positions. Sometimes they have them for medical billers. Sometimes they have them for release of information. And sometimes they have them for medical coding. That was how I got my first 2 jobs in medical coding, was going through the temp agency. And when they send you on a temporary assignment, it's not going to be for a day, because they don't call in for a medical coder if they're out sick for the day. They don't call the temp agency to send somebody in. They won't do that. They'll usually call somebody in if there's going to be an extended leave of absence, right, from that employee. And hey, we still need somebody to fill in, so let's call the temp agency. You don't have to have experience to work at the temp agency. The temp agency's job is to get you a job. So that's why I say, if you have this degree and you want to get out there and find a job, or you want to be a medical coder, again, you know, those are the things that you can do to get yourself in the door. But a lot of people will say that they want to pursue the degree because that's what they see out there. If you're looking at the job listings, you will see that a lot of them ask for either a certification or a degree. And the degrees, they're really going to look at those people to be auditors, to be managers and supervisors and that kind of thing. So again, if that is your ultimate goal, then by all means, yes, go ahead and pursue that. But if it is not, save yourself time and frustration and money by just going with the certification. So at least that's just my advice anyway. Now, when you pursue your certification, and let's just say you have it for a couple of years, and you are really getting into the field and you decide that you like it and you want to go ahead and pursue that higher education, well, now that you've been working, right, you may be lucky enough to have an employer who will offer tuition reimbursement. So now you have that opportunity to get that education, and you're getting it in the right mindset because you know what you're getting into, you know what the field is like, and not only that, you're saving yourself money. Because I am not one who will advocate for student loans. I will never advocate for a student loan. I will always think to try to find some other way to pay for school. I will never advocate for a student loan. People, you hear them complaining a lot that there's so many thousands of dollars in student loan debt. And you know, that student loan debt does not go away. And it just takes forever, it seems, for people to pay it off, you know. So that's the thing. Don't get sucked in when it comes to, you know, getting a student loan and, oh, I've got to do this. No, you don't. You can go through the online AHIMA program. They have the online 13-course bundle that's available in the AHIMA store. You can also check out AAPC. They have their online medical coding program as well, and pursue a certification. Get into the field, see if you like it, and that way then you know that you're going to invest time and money in something that you really want to do. Because again, a lot of people will tell me, Blue, if I would have known when I got my degree that I was not going to like it or this was not going to be the field for me, I would have never pursued this. And again, you've wasted time and money to get a degree that you didn't even want. All right? So that's why I tell you guys, be very careful when you're spending your money. Don't be cavalier about it and just say, oh, this is what I need to do. You know, I came from a generation where you had to have a degree. And the wonderful thing about medical coding that I have found is that it's very lucrative in the fact that you can do very well and you don't have to have a degree. Now, I've seen people without a college degree do very well. And again, you know, being as a person who's made more than degree holders, that's pretty impressive, okay? And so that's something that you have to think about. It's not always necessary to do the norm, which is get a degree. Again, in this field, it's a little odd. That's why I say you can start off with the certification, have it for a couple of years, and decide if you want to pursue higher education. Because there is so much for us to learn in just the coding part. But when you get into the leadership side of the house, and if you look at the curriculum for the leadership side of the house, for the RHIT or the RHIA, the associate's or the bachelor's degree programs, you'll see that, again, the emphasis on the coding is very short. But the rest of it is about the laws, it's about, you know, HR and, you know, the human resource side of the house. And that's what that is about. And so that's what you have to know before you get into these programs. At least this is my advice anyway. So know what you are pursuing before you start pursuing it. Please don't be another statistic of people who just do not like the field once they get it, once they get that certification and once they get that designation. Don't do that to yourself, all right? Ask questions. Go through my videos. I've done plenty of videos. And the viewer actually commented on the video that I did about the health information management degrees and still asked this question. So again, it's important that when you're doing your research and you're watching these videos, that it's information coming from a veteran coder who's been in the industry, who knows and understands, and I have no bias. Whether you get into a degree program, whether you pursue a certification, it makes no difference to me. I'm just trying to save people from, getting into something that they are thinking is something else rather than what it actually is. All right. And this is a great field, and it has a lot of opportunities for leaders. It has a lot of opportunities for coders, and there's a lot of potential for growth. But the only way to be able to find that out and know it is to take that leap of faith. And again, I always recommend starting with the certification before pursuing a degree. And again, if you're coming from a medical assistant background, you have some leverage because you have some knowledge there. And don't discount your knowledge. Don't discount the things that you've experienced. And even if you're coming from a background of no medical, again, do not discount your experience. When I got into the field, no medical background at all, okay? Just my certification. But I still had a lot of really good people skills. I've been around the industry a lot as far as different industries and dealing with different types of people. And this helped me to be able to navigate, some personalities that I came up against when I was a brand new medical coder trying to find my way. It's very important that you don't discount anything that you've experienced, because you never know who it's going to help or who you may come across and who you may connect with. So that's something that you guys got to keep in mind. All right, so that's my advice anyway for today. When it comes to those degrees, guys, they're not messing around. They are not playing around. These are difficult degrees as well. There's a lot to them. You can check out the degree plans for any of them. You have to make sure that the program that you are going through, either for the associate's degree or the bachelor's degree, is approved by CAHIM, because if it is not, then you're not going to be able to sit for those RHIT or RHIA designations. That is very important. When you're in the school, make sure that you ask them, is this approved through CAHIM, so that you can sit for the RHIT if it's the associates, or the RHIA if it's the bachelor's. Okay, you don't want to waste your money going through a program where that's not approved. Okay, that's something that you got to know. And I will leave the link for CAHIM in the description box. You can put in the name of your school and the name of the program that you're in, and you can see if it's approved or not. Don't just take the recruiter's word for it either. Okay, that's another advice I have there. So I'm going to wrap this one up. If this video helped you, I hope that you will share it, like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye.